Come on, come on.
I've been lost away, it's slick the same. I'm in my brain trying to maintain everything, but I can't. Searching for sane, been feeling the same, a bit mundane. But hey, I won't complain. I know in all time things will change.
Come on,
At
come
the
on.
right time, I ain't gonna wait. But for right now, I'ma just stay.
Yeah.
Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I
Turn it up.
you know
Yeah.
Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I know you care for me.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't you see that?
We vibing. Yeah. 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 Come on. Comparable sounds. The comparable sounds of Miss Malia Dawn. Malia Dawn. You know what I'm saying? Check out all of her streaming platforms where you find music, Amazon, iTunes, Apple iTunes. You know what I'm saying? Prime, whatever you got. Um, Welcome to Pete Still Building Podcast. It's a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on right now. Hey, I'm in the middle of trying to figure this thing out. And I think I messed up somewhere. I'm pretty sure I know I did. I pressed the wrong button and something went off. But we are here. You know what I'm saying? Still Building Podcast is here. We back black. Let's say that black for another time. You did. We got another great topic for y'all. We have great special guests today. You know what I'm saying? Along with my host, my co-host, you know what I'm saying? Kit Jones in the building, you know what I'm saying? And our special guest we got going on today is my man, D Cook, all the way from Philly, you dig, East Coast in the building. So we're going to represent today and have a great topic. We got a great show for y'all today. Hold on a second, peoples. Hold on a second, my peoples. I don't even know if the intro, I don't even know if we're recording. All right, so we are recording. We are live. We are recording right now. I pressed the wrong button. I hope I got my peoples in the building. I hope you can hear my mic. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead without further ado, bring my peoples on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get it together, man. I need a producer. Anybody, please, if you get a producer out there, help your boy out. You know what I'm saying? But welcome to Still Building Podcast. It's your man, Marifa Black. Yet again, we got us a great topic today. We're going to be talking about health in the Black community. You dig? So we got a great panel that is on this podcast today. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my man, I'm Marifa Asar. You know what I'm saying? I got my man, Kid Jones. And I got the special guests in the building today. D Cook all the way from Philly, you dig? We're going to be dropping some knowledge and wisdom for y'all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers that's coming from different backgrounds, faiths, religions, and understandings and stuff like that, and wisdom. And we all come together collectively as men to be able to give you this knowledge to the next generation. So tell your kids, you know what I'm saying, to come and watch. Y'all come and watch too. So that way we can go ahead and drop this knowledge on you. So that way you can better yourself. So the more you know, the more you'll grow and the better off we all shall be. So dig, this is how we gonna do it. Let's get my peoples in the room. Let's get them in the room. Let's get them in the room. Let's get them in the room. You dig?
Hello.
Yo. D Cook, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth. D Cook in the building. Now look, man, I don't know if y'all heard that intro. I don't know if y'all seen or heard any music. I don't even know if we recording or if we live. I have no clue. I believe we are live. It's saying that we live. It's saying that we're recording. But right. I had a button that came up. See, you can't minimize when you recording. Okay. It's a lot of going on, man. I need a producer out there. I need a producer, like for real. All right.
I'm my brother.
Yeah, I need a producer because I don't know how to do all of this, man. Yeah. I think we live and say we live, you know, so we're going to continue to flow. You did. All right, we black yet again. We black yet again for another episode of Still Building Podcast. You know what I'm saying? I got my man Kid Jones and our special guest, D Cook in the building, ladies and gentlemen, live from Philly. You dig? All the way. We got West Coast, we got East Coast, and I'm in the Central. You dig? So we represent all time zones. You dig? Right now. So we all over. So dig, man, we're gonna get right into it. You dig? So this episode right now, this episode is something very special, okay? Because it's something that's going to impact each and every one of us. All right. Everybody's going to go through some form of health issues on their way out, transitioning from this physical body that we have right now. So in the Black community, we rarely, if ever, talk about health issues. You know what I'm saying? We don't never share this type of information with each other. It's always taboo. You know what I'm saying? We don't get this information and this knowledge out. And we need to, as a people, talk about different things, different health challenges that we face. You know what I'm saying? As a people. So that way we can better educate our younger generation, be able to get them to have the knowledge in their mind so they can make better choices in their youth, so it won't impact them in a senior and elderly years. All right. So with that being said, we're going to run through with the panel. We're going to ask a couple of questions of the panel, you know what I'm saying, and try to get some answers to it. You dig? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up my phone and we're going to go ahead and get to it. Let me see where we at. So I want to talk about, you know, the Black health community. I got a question for y'all fellas, man. Heart failure. Very, very, you know, important, you know, conversation, because the heart is one of the muscles that very intricate in our bodies for us to be able to survive. It pumps the blood, you know, to the other organs and extremities and things of that nature. But heart failure is the #1 cause of death in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? And for us to have that as our #1 cause, can it be reversed? You know, is it possible for that? What causes, you know, heart failure in the Black community, in Black people? What y'all think?
Okay, thank you for having me. Again, my name is David Cook, and I first want to say I'm very proud of you, Sean, because that's what I'm going to call you, Sean, Kid. Salute,
baby.
Salute.
Way back, you know, we've always had that connection. And anytime that the Army thought the connection was broken between us, they would send old Sergeant Cook over. You need to go talk to these boys over here.
Like, for real.
I didn't take it as a challenge. I took it as a blessing. So
yeah,
and that's why we still are connected today. But
I'm glad you did, bro. Like, for real, I am really, really grateful for you taking the time out to mentor me. You know what I'm saying? And us junior enlisted, what is that? We needed that guidance, man. Especially me. I know I needed it. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
And I still need it now. That's why
And
we here.
it wasn't all one way. You know, I'm going to shout out the person that gave me a whole lot. And y'all know him too. So, Sergeant Allen,
Oh yeah, man.
Yes.
Salute
Yes.
to staff, baby. We got to get him on, man. We got to get him on, baby. We got to get him on.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
mentor.
Yeah.
I call him mentor, and I don't mind doing that because
Yes.
he taught me a lot, man. So
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, darn near everything about how to integrate being a soldier and to your natural stuff. So with that in mind, I'm going to take this hard question so we can get this thing moving. In our community, yes, the Black man as it includes women, but Black men especially suffer from heart failure at a more alarming rate than other ethnic groups. And I think it starts because of an inherent fear that the Black community has in the trust of healthcare. And it goes back a long way. From the research that I've done and talking to some of the younger people that I've talked to, the Tuskegee experiment, number one, which is the biggest outlier, and it's the biggest cause. It's really the root, even though things happened prior to. It's really the root that they can trace it to.
Yes.
As far as why Black people do not trust the doctors, and most people don't even know. They consider Tuskegee as a great place, and it may be, but they consider it with the airmen. Oh, they were the first pilots. They were the Red Tails. They didn't know nothing about shooting us up with civilists from 1932 for 40 years without any kind of medical care,
Right.
without anything, and not even getting a public apology or acknowledgement until like 95, man. President
Wow.
all those years.
Yeah.
Like, and my father-in-law, he was sharing other things with me, that there's so many myths that go with being Black, a Black man, our sexuality. We're insatiable. We can take more pain than other ethnic groups.
Right. Yeah.
Black women can handle more babies. Black women were also operated on without painkillers, without anything, as far as they OBGYN for years, numbers of years. And so that's the number one cause, is the fear itself. Is not enough time has gone by for us to be able to trust going to the doctors or any kind of healthcare if you really want to look at it. Time is the essence of everything. And I don't believe enough generations have passed. Things have gotten better.
Yeah.
But we are where we are. And those are some.
What you think about our diet? You know what I'm saying? What we like to eat as Black folks, and then, our culture, how we celebratory, you know what I'm saying? We like to indulge in spirits, as they call them. You know what I'm saying? We go to the commissary and get us some the class 6. Get us some of that E&J, you dig? And, get our weekend on and get it popping and throw something on the grill, you know what I'm saying? And, be in the backyard, kicking it, partying and smoking and all of that good stuff. That don't contribute a lot, you know what I'm saying, to the heart failure conditions.
Yeah, I don't want to take up all the time, but you got anything to say about that, kid?
Yeah, I like how you started with the I guess that inherent fear that exists in us here in North America that are knowledgeable, and that fear of doctor and going to the doctor to get checked out, right? So I think there's a misconception of like the purpose of getting yourself checked out, you know, going to the doctor, making sure your vitals are good, making sure that, you know, your blood sugar is good, and all the other things that are detriments to us as people of color. What you do with the information is of no lesser importance, right? Now that you have this prognosis, you have to make a decision on what life changes you have to make in order to reverse these things, you know? Like there's a saying, you know, fat people know what to do to lose weight because they know what they did to get fat. So if you do the opposite of what you did to get this way, then that'll make a change, right? So yeah, brother, I definitely agree. You know, there's an inherent fear, so many things in this current, you know, state of being Black in North America, you know, being here in the great wilderness. And that's one thing that, you know, we have to shake ourselves from, you know, stop being scared of things, research things, you know, talk to people, get the information, go to your elders, go to people that are respected for their word, and start making the changes in order to be here longer, to be able to enjoy the next generation and the next generation, you know, and be fruitful and multiply. So I just wanted to add that.
And
And
that's
not
good.
only not yeah, go ahead, Cook.
No, it's good that you said that, because it is a problem. There's a big disconnect between, you know, us as elders, and then you have, I don't like the label things, but we are what we are. You have elders, you have senior elders, you got real OGs, you got junior OGs, you got so, but there's a big disconnect. Is these young people, because of the way they live their life,
Right.
they feel immortal, like we all did too.
Right.
You could feel as though you could do anything, like preemptive preventive maintenance, like we used to do on our vehicles, is keep your vehicle going strong and lasting longer. And
Right.
we as a people, we don't want to go anywhere, because if you feel good and if it's not broke, why fix it? Well, that's the most terrible thing that you can do yourself or anybody else in your family.
Right.
But it's a lot of things that we have to make tough decisions on as a people, because we fall under the systematic racism. You know, they in the cities, it's just as bad. And it's still there today. If you look at the COVID numbers, you know, more ethnics, our group died at a much higher and alarming rate than other people did. Why? They don't trust the medicine. And two, the medicine they're getting was tarnished anyway.
Yeah.
It can be proven, but you have to at least make that step to get involved in your own health care and your own well-being in order for you to bring about change.
Right.
Instead of turning the other cheek. And that's a big problem. For us in the military, I guess it was a little bit easier. I will say for me, I can only speak for myself, because I have complete confidence that they couldn't dissect me or direct me from this veteran to that veteran, because we were all veterans, so we was all getting the same health care. Right now, I do have congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
Had I went to the doctors early, I wouldn't be here. Just like the same thing that happened to that young man at the Buffalo Bills, Devlin Hamlin. I'll just call him D. Hamlin because I don't remember.
Damar Hamlin. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him in a minute. We're gonna definitely talk about him in a minute. But what do y'all think, man, about as far as like us as a Black community being able to not, like you said, mentioned that the feeling of invincibility, you know, as a youth, you know, we ignore those warning signs. It's like your car, right? When you drive in your car and your check engine light come on, you don't ignore that.
No.
You know, you're going to take
Right.
your car, you know what I'm saying, to the shop, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and get it checked out. But for a lot of us, we just ignore, you know, these little minor pains, you know, you get in your body. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go to the doctor. He was like, oh, okay, well, it'll go away. You know,
Right.
that type of thing, you know, and you
Right.
just, you just keep moving, you know what I'm saying, and keep doing your thing. But if we just take the time out and, you know, call the doctor, schedule that appointment and be like, look, I need to go ahead and get this checked out, just to be careful, you know, cautious, to be able to check it out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of ignoring that warning sign and say, oh, well, I could just, you know, put some alcohol on it, or, or put a Band-Aid on it, you know what I'm saying? Or
Put
put
some
some
Vicks
icy
on it.
hot. Let me get some icy hot, or let me take a Tylenol or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to do just the little minor details, instead go and get it checked out. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
and that needs to be done, because if you look, the highest number, a lot of this is preventable, man. You know,
Yeah.
I've had people in my family die because of prostate cancer,
Yeah.
because not wanting to go to the doctors, when if you would have went, there's a high percent that they would have seen it.
Right.
They would be able to give you a treatment plan, and you would still be here today. And instead of ignoring the fact, and then it becomes too late.
Yeah.
And that's happened in a whole lot of our families. And that's just a terrible way to go when you know it could have been prevented.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so I know myself, you know, we didn't, dentist, that's not a knock on my moms and pops. It was a hard decision to make. Like, are they falling out? No. All right, get this corner to it, it'll make your gums stronger.
Right.
You know,
There's something wrong with
it ain't nothing with it. And but you know, we have to be preventive. We have to have preventive maintenance. And I think that's the
So how do y'all think, like,
hardest.
how come Black folks are not willing, like, to talk about like hereditary health issues within the family? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah, that's
your
what I wanted
uncles,
to
your
say.
aunts, your aunts got, you know, high blood pressure or diabetes, you know, your mama, your daddy, and they don't tell you nothing. They don't even tell you they taking pills. They don't tell you,
Right.
you don't really know, you don't know what, you know, health issues they may be dealing with, because
Right.
they don't talk about them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why do you think that we as a Black community are afraid to have those conversations?
I absolutely don't have a good answer for that, because it's right there.
Yeah.
And it right there in your face. And I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that.
I'm gonna take a swing at it, you know, and it's kind of, it's just to be rhetorical, to keep the conversation going. But you know, David, you said something a moment ago. You said, you know, I know myself. It starts with that, right? When you know yourself, then you kind of should know how to deal with the people that are around you. And it is a systemic thing amongst us who have been colonized. So it's not just limited to us here in America. You know, you go to the West Indies, you go all the way down to Central and South America, and people of color that have been colonized, as well as over in the continent of Africa. We are all, you know, like screwed when it comes to that aspect of like knowing yourself, being honest with your family, looking at the signs around you. You know, so many of us suffer from that. And it's, in a way, it's a form of mental illness, you know. It's a post-traumatic slavery disorder, right?
I just read
Where, yeah, you know what I mean? It's it's this open neglect, right? Where we're nonchalant about it. And, you know, hell, we can't discuss medical information if we don't even share who the real daddy is of this kid, or, you know, other systemic issues that go on where, you know, people, and look, teenage pregnancy is nothing new, right? A
Right.
lot of us parents come from that generation. Maybe not us, but a lot of us parents, our grandparents were, you know, pregnant, you know, 14 and pregnant, right? So that's not new. That's not new. But we still approach those things, unfortunately, the same jacked up way. And at some point, we have to, and everyone's heard this before, we have to stop doing the same thing the same way, expecting to get a different result, right?
Yes.
That's the epitome of madness. And when you know yourself, you recognize like, hey, I'm not crazy. And I know if I continue to do things this way, I'm going to keep getting these results. I have to make the change within me. And that's the biggest turnaround that can happen in the so-called Black community, right? But in humanity overall, if the individual gets their stuff together, you teach your youngin to be responsible, to mimic that, right? In some degree, we know people are not going to ever get it, right? But that's where the biggest change can come, is when you become an advocate for change, when you're that catalyst that, hey, you know what? I know the rest of my family doesn't do this, or we don't share these things. There's a lot of young people that ask questions of their family, because they want to know, and they're denied the answers because, well, that aunt over there, she don't want to talk to you, or, BS reasons. So, we got to get over that. Again, it's just a fear, it's a phobia that we suffer from because of our colonized way of thinking,
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. What happened to me? Because I suffer from hypertension, right? So I take a pill for blood pressure, to keep my blood pressure regulated and stuff like that. So I battle that. But when I was 33 years old, I went home to Chicago, for vacation. And when I was at home, I used to go over everybody's house. Like I would stop house to house to house every hour. I was at somebody else's house. And when I went to their house, I actually would stop and pick up some food. You know what I'm saying? So every single house I had picked up food and visited with my families and friends and stuff while I was there. I was just excited. I was happy to be home. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just stopping everywhere. I'm getting pizza, chicken, I'm getting Polish sausages. I'm eating everything every hour. So that night, I went home, I was sitting in the living room. My dad, it was late at night, about midnight, something like that. I finally made it home. And I was real sluggish and tired, extremely. Like I had never been that tired in my life. And I was like, man, I'm tired. So I'm sitting there thinking it's jet lag, right? So I said, hey, man, me and my dad was in there watching a movie, you know what I'm saying, late at night. And I said, man, Dad, I can't do it no more, man. I'm going to bed, man. I can't hang no more. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? He was like, all right, man, I'll see you tomorrow. So I go to bed and I get up in the middle of the night, to go use the bathroom. And then I'm using the bathroom. After I finish using the bathroom, everything went black. My vision went out. Everything went black. And all I heard was boom, 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 boom. I heard it, but I didn't see it. Right. So the next thing I know, I'm waking up and my vision was coming back. You ever seen the cartoon movies where it's just like, like the Looney Tunes?
Oh, yeah.
And the movie just comes back to life and stuff like that. So it faded to black and it came back. My vision came back just like that. It was like, so it went from black to my vision back, because I was sitting on the toilet and my mom's was like, she had picked me up off the floor. And then she asked me, she said, when's the last time you had your blood pressure checked? And I said, I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? I'm 33 years old. I'm invincible. You know what I'm saying? That's what I had, the mentality. I'm invincible. Nothing. I can eat Burger King 3 times a day. I can eat McDonald's, 3 times a day and nothing happened to me. I was invincible. But I messed around, passed out. So I go back home, right? I fly back home, leave Chicago, went straight to the ER. Man, they strapped me up, took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 197 over 120 something. It was extremely high. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang, they immediately put an IV in me, put me on the drip. You know what I'm saying? I'm laying in the bed, next to the, they put the little curtain and stuff next to the people. I got people on my left and right. They moaning and crying. Ooh. And I'm like, damn, I'm about to die. I'm in that mug. I'm shaking and scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I'm next. I'm about to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because my blood pressure would not calm down. So I was like, dang, they put me on that IV. But they finally got it to come down like a couple of hours later. It took them like all night and they finally got it down. But then they put me on the medication. But I was like, yo, man, I would have never known that. Right. So I started telling my moms about it. And then she got to telling me, she's like, oh, yeah, man, I take blood pressure pills too. She said, your daddy take him, your auntie take him, your uncles. I'm like, what? Why
Yeah.
y'all didn't tell me this stuff running the family? You know what I'm saying?
He like, don't I'm supposed to know that? You know, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I'm saying is just something that, I mean, you have to be willing to be an open book. Me, myself, I have no problem talking about my experiences, my past, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Because, you know, everything that I have done, I learned from, whether it was a good lesson, a valuable lesson, or it was a lesson that was worth 2 cents. But, you know, my nephew went through the same thing. And I'm hearing him talk to somebody else about it. And I'm like, why is this the first that I'm hearing about this? And, you know, he was just, I'm sorry, Uncle David. I was like, yeah, man. I mean, these are the things that you have to talk about.
Yeah,
That's right.
Because it could all be prevented.
Right.
That's right.
You know, what happened to me, I could try to prevent from happening to somebody, even though I couldn't help it. But if I would have been going to the doctors regularly, somebody might have caught it.
Yeah.
And I passed out and coded.
Yeah.
Woo! Don't know what happened for like 2 or 3 days. I wake up, my mom's here in North Carolina, my dad, my sister, they all around. I'm like, you know, just like you said, the curtain comes up like it's a play or something. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Right. I'm like, what is this? Man, the vision come back like a movie.
Damn, fool, that's why we here.
Came from darkness. It came back to the light.
And it just comes from that feeling immortal. Because, you know, after I got out of the military, y'all might not know, I delivered mail. So, man, I was always on my feet. Then I was at the gym playing ball and just running. Didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
One day where I couldn't. Now, I never realized it. It's just like, yeah, I do feel a little tired. Man, I am having a hard time catching my breath. Maybe I got a cold. You know, I was one of them that didn't go to the hospital, didn't do anything until, you know, the God, the supreme creator, universe, whatever you want to call him, God, laid me down.
Right. You wouldn't lay yourself down, so
Right.
God laid you down.
Yeah, lay down.
I got something. And you know, you don't want to learn your lessons like that, you know, because there's no, you know, you don't have any kind of guarantee how you're going to come out the other end. And you don't have guarantees in life, but we all taught to give ourselves the best shot. So
that's right. So, hey, with that being said, bro, talking about God and stuff like that, y'all seen what happened with Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Y'all saw that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who watched football seen what happened. You know, him on the football field, he got that hit. You know, it was a very, you know, very unique situation that occurred at that instance for him to be able to get hit at that time where his heart stopped beating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he died for a few, you know, minutes on the field. You know what I'm saying? So they revived him with CPR and stuff like that. But my question is this. Now, the power of collective corporate prayer, you know, everybody instantly, you know, all over, sending that energy, you know, his way. You know what I'm saying? That spiritual energy his way. You know, is that a real thing? You know, that prayer and that positive energy being channeled like that?
I believe it is. And personally, I believe it is. And I know I heard Kit explaining faith the last podcast, the first, you know, he had the real book version of that. You know what I'm saying? And believe that, because it works both ways, man.
Yeah, man.
If you're in a situation where you don't have any food and you know you're not going to eat, and you don't see any way that you're going to eat in about an hour or tomorrow or today, it brings upon desperation.
Right.
And then you act on it.
Yeah.
Even though it may be an unconscious act. You just acting on it because that's what your body, your spirit, your brain is telling you to do. Some people call it coincidence. I don't call it coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. There's reason.
Right.
So yeah, that collective prayer, he's hearing it and feeling it, or somebody's feeling it and they're hearing it and they're feeling it. And he's responding unconsciously.
Right.
Yeah. It's better than having somebody standing. I mean, what's better? You got somebody standing around you saying, you know, I ain't like that MF anyway. He old. Oh, he hit a girl last week. I know something was going, you know.
Oh man.
He's doing that. I hope God claims him. Of course, I mean, just in a common sense realm, I believe that it works. But that's a great question because if you don't have anything else to do, what do? You just pray, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's that positive vibration being put out, you know, which there's tons of videos on the internet and YouTube on them monitoring prayer sessions, you know, and when people are praying at the Vatican at a certain time of day, they measure the atmosphere, the ions in the atmosphere increase. They measure people in the mosque praying, right? They measure Buddhists meditating. They measure everyone, you know, out here who participate in group meditative practices, right? I think that's the simplest way to say it, a group meditative practice. And yeah, you know, that is positive vibe being put forward, oftentimes without words, you know, it makes it even better. Everybody just focus on you sending your positive energy, almost like a damn Care Bear, you know, back in the day, Care Bears go, right? You're sending your energy out, whichever way you want to imagine. You know, that's what's happening in that moment, you know? And so, yeah, I believe that works, you know?
Yeah, man, it's a spiritualness that is definitely a part of like the energy and channeling that and focusing that energy all in that direction as one. And, you know, we all energetic beings anyway, you know, for him to be able to receive that energy from a collective, you know, mass of people all at once will give that spirit a reason to fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A reason to fight and stay, you know, because I'm under the belief that we have the choice. You know, when you're faced with an opportunity, you know, to transition or, you know, stay on, if your body is strong enough to sustain the energy in your body, then your spirit has to decide, okay, I want to stay and continue on, you know, even though I may have a little ailments or whatever, or injury or whatever going forward, but I still want to carry on in this physical realm. Or the spirit can say, I'm done. I'm up out of here.
I mean,
Right.
Out of here, I'm gone.
Yes. Some people have that, some individuals have that spiritual connection to other individuals. That's why a lot of times you see if a person is together or they've been married or they're in a lot together for X amount of years and one of them passed away and the other one is sick, they lose the will to live.
To exist anymore. That's right.
And soon thereafter, they go too. And something to be said about that. Like I said, even coincidence. There's reasons.
Yeah, there's reasons for it. Yeah, we got those cosmic connections with each other, you know. It's like we had these agreements to be friends on this plane and every other possibility of existence, right? So we had that vibe where you meet somebody, you know, or you've grown up with somebody and you've always felt like you knew this person, you know, that's because you may have known them, you know, they are acting out again. Shakespeare, right? All the world is a play and the men and women are but the players in. You know, we play these roles out cosmically with each other here in this existence, right? And so, you know, the purpose of friends and conversations and that whole thing is to keep this continuity amongst us as humans here on this planet, you know?
So So I want to try to get some stuff out to the people who is just don't just research YouTube and the hottest jams and the videos. Just pick a topic that's near and dear to your heart in your family, because everybody has one. And do a little homework on yourself to just check and see what we're saying, because the facts are right there in your face.
In your face,
and you know, change ain't change unless it's change. So, you know, just like it said, you know, it's like if you keep doing the same things over and over and over, it's insanity. You're doing the same thing, but you're expecting changes. Doesn't work. And
you know, the funny thing about it is, like, we don't take the time to figure out how our bodies work or how our spiritualness works. You know, we have this body, we have this spirit, but we don't take the time to actually study and research how it actually functions, how it operates. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people buy a new car and they just get in the car and they go, and all they know how to do is put gas in it. They don't understand how the engine works or the cylinder functions or how the carburetor and all this stuff. They don't understand how that all makes the engine go. You know what I'm saying? They just say, oh, I like that color. You know, I like the exterior of the car. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, how this body looks, you know, on the car. And that's how we treat our bodies. We treat them the exact same way. Oh, look at, you know, that body over there. Or I like this person, or I like that person. She look good, or he look good. And you know what I'm saying? But we don't understand the functionality of that body, how the body works. What's the functionality of the spiritual makeup of the individual? That can include the emotions, you know, you know what I'm saying, the spiritual emotions and mentalness of that. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So it's a large component of what you're dealing with, you know, but everybody just so focused and concentrate on the physical, you know, what's on the outside, and they don't even know how the outside, you know, what's working on the inside to make the outside go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And not knowing is not an excuse, because, you know, you know, I'm not really expected to know how an engine runs, but it might be good. But I know if I don't know, I know who does. I know where to take it.
Right.
You know, I know that if my oil's not right, I know to go to Jiffy Lube.
Right.
You know, it's easy. I know if I want a burger, I got to go to Burger King. I can't go to, you know, Kentucky
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, you can't go to Chick-fil-A.
I mean, things right in your face. And it's just like, we have to be able to heed the warning instead of just letting life just slide by, because as you live longer, the importance becomes more, it becomes real.
Right.
So real that, you know, wow, I don't want to be an I wish kid. I wish the R. Kelly joint. Yo, no, you don't want to wish. You want to know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I try to teach my kids. You know, if I don't know and you ask me, I will try to find the answer.
Yes.
And I will direct you to a path that you can get the answer.
Yeah.
But they don't want to know. That's the problem. They don't want to know. They just want to get in the car and drive it. That's it. They want to just put gas in the car and drive. They don't want to take the time to figure out how that car actually works. Look, I'm relaying it to the body. You know, how the body actually works. So like Dr. Sebi, right? I don't know if y'all familiar. Dr. Sebi has you know, world-renowned African, you know, herbalists, you know, have all of these different methods and stuff, and herbs in which you could take, foods in which you should eat to be able to eliminate a lot of disease that we deal with on the African scale in our bodies. You know, we can eliminate a lot of things, diabetes, we can eliminate, you know, high blood pressure, you know, if we eat a certain way, you know, if we eat a certain, an alkaline type of diet. You know what I'm saying? To be able to maintain the cleanliness in your system for your organs to be able to function properly so you can live and live longer. You know what I'm saying? But we don't take the time to even research the herbs, or, you know, like black seed oil, you know what I'm saying? Sea moss, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody really digging into, turmeric, all of that good stuff, man, that you can
Right.
use to help benefit you, you know what I'm saying, and your health. I think from age 30 and on. Age 30 is like when the clock starts declining and stuff like that.
Hey, it should be from the cradle to the grave, but
Yeah.
again, this is the detriment of being here, right? And the weapons of mass distraction that are put out there for us, where the person will reach for, a pharmaceutical remedy to
Mhm.
something that, and again, it's understanding the body and how the body works, what you're made out of versus um the impression that something that is like a component, something that is scientifically created is going to be able to fix something that's organic, right?
Oh,
And of course, yeah, I'm familiar with Dr. Sabi, right over here on La Cienega Place, and I met Dr. Sabi almost, I'm gonna say maybe in 95,
Okay.
96-ish, and had a good relationship with Sabi, took people over. And there are other herbalists that also have been teaching, the alkaline diet and the herbs, right?
Yeah.
But it's also knowing this, right? And I'll try to make this short. Knowing the people in the village, right? Know your village, know the people in your village. Because trust me, there is a herbalist in your village, in your community, in most people's community. There's someone that you could seek out to get the things that you need to be able to fortify and replace the nutrients that your body has lost, that will continue to lose, that you're not going to get out of dead foods, right? So just wanted to share that real quick. But yeah, if you know your community, then you know who your root woman was, right? You know who the root man was, you know who to go to get those things. So, big up to all the people out here that have been doing the work for years to provide the diet plan for melanated people, first and foremost. You have to put back the things that your body is naturally made out of. So,
Right.
you know, I see we're gonna have to put up some good advertisement for our unsung heroes that are also putting the herbs out there, and
and
the panic packs and all the things that our people need to get themselves together, and to even think, hey, some things you could just grow in a flower pot in your kitchen window, right?
yeah,
You
right.
can grow
Right.
things around your house that are ornamental. There's books on edible plants and flowers, right? That
Yeah.
may look ornamental, but hey, worst case scenario, if the markets ain't open, look at the price of eggs. I can go pick that right in the backyard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Eggs they tripping on eggs, man. It's like the chickens on strike or something like that. They get clucked
It's a
together,
sign.
and
It's the sign. It's a sign. Stop eating eggs.
somebody need to go cluck with them chickens and see if we can negotiate a deal or something.
right. Yeah, we talking, but it's really it's it's not a part of knowing. It's trying to get that information out to people and
Out
have
there.
believe it. That's the hardest thing, and that's what my focus. Try to have you. I mean, all I could be is a messenger.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about that. Me and you was hitting on some stuff. I ain't talked to you in a while. You hit me with the PTSD. I was reading it, but it was called PTSS. Prior, what it was? I'm just getting.
Post
I'm old. Get me right.
post
Post traumatic slavery syndrome.
syndrome. Yeah.
Oh yeah. PTSD.
No,
No,
PTSS.
PTSS.
Oh,
Right.
PTSS.
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's
Post
PT. What
traumatic
is it?
slavery syndrome.
Yeah.
And so now we're going through something that is just the same. If you notice in your neighborhoods, and just like Kit was saying, there are herbalists, there are different stores. Now they got the weed popping up and they got everything else popping up. And there's a big fight right now
Yeah.
between Western medicine and
Yep.
Eastern medicine.
Yep.
But it really shouldn't be a fight because they're trying to kill us off anyway. And
Right.
there's too many people on this earth. the natural resources can't hold it.
Right.
But just look at geography in your history. Middle Easterners and Asians, they live longer than everybody else. Why is
Yeah.
that? They're not popping pills.
Right.
No.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they not on no pills, man. They on herbs.
so,
They on natural herbs. You know what I'm
yo,
saying? From the
now,
earth.
what are you doing, sir?
Right.
How did you get here? Can you help me? Because it's right, everything in your face. It's not like, like it's
Yeah.
hidden. It's right there.
But see,
Right.
they even tainting the CBD right now. The weed that they put in the dispensaries and stuff like that, they taint that right now. It's tainted. It's tainted. It's not natural, all organic weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, Smokey said on Friday, weed is from the earth. God put it here for me and you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now this
So,
shit hydroponic, and
yeah,
amped up, and yes.
they putting all type of stuff on the weed.
Moderation, all things
Yeah.
in moderation.
We knew Cali was going to be first anyway. Y'all was first to everything. So
Yeah, man.
we knew that. So anyway, that's why I keep my speed dial if I have to. Don't know that.
Might have to take a road trip.
Yeah.
A road trip. You did get in the family truckster.
Of jars. He has a good collection of jars.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can store jelly, and if you just want to, yeah. And all that. So,
I'll tell you, man, but that's what you need, though. You need that to be able to function. And then you also need it to be able to have your body aligned properly, with the earth. Like you said, we're organic beings and stuff naturally coming from the earth. The body, once you transition, will remain on the earth. It goes back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. From the ground you came, to the ground you shall return. You know what I'm saying? So, but your spirit moves on. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit is eternal. So the organicness of your body, you still need those elements inside, like you said, to replace what you miss from
What
eating
you're
processed
missing.
food.
Yes, and look, most ailments people suffer from, 99% of the ailments are mineral and other vitamin deficiencies. Yeah, that's what this stems from. So I'm not saying go out here and hit up GNC and get $1,000 worth of but but I'm sure there's in ethnic food sections in most markets, they have the leaves. They may be in Spanish, but your mullein, your Villalobos, all of your spirulina, your that stuff is right there in the bodega. It's right there in the supermarket. And when COVID first broke out, we had an early case in my own household, right? And I think within the first 12 hours, symptoms was already gone, right? Day later, still positive, tested positive. 3 days later, negative, right? And that's just from hitting the concoction, because these are family remedies that shouldn't just stick with one family, Hey, I'll shoot it out to you, this is concoction, it's good whenever you get a little cold, boom, it'll help you get over it, right? But it's that ounce of prevention, right? The ounce of prevention. Yeah, don't just think if one person is sick, they're the only ones should be drinking this. No, everybody in the house needs to drink this, right? There's teas that we should be into to also help boost our immune system, right? So there's things that you could just make simple changes in your daily, without being what some may consider so radical that you have to just jump into an immediate, detox and, go extreme, realize that might kill some of y'all. You're walking around already toxic, and you remove this from your body too fast, and you'll go into shock. So again, talk to the community, get the right advice, and then make a positive decision for the betterment of the longevity of your physical avatar. You know, this third dimensional crystalline body you have that you only hold on to but for minutes anyway. You know, all of this is just for a moment.
Right.
So, you know, make the best of this body as you can. You know, like the brother's been alluding to, this is your craft, you know, this is your vehicle. You know, take care of the vehicle.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, well, that was good, man. I've been impressed. So I do have to say this because I don't want to be. It's definitely more important for the young folks because I have this conversation with myself every day. It's like, brain, why didn't you tell me this a while ago? I tried, because we've been eating all so bad for so many years that a lot of times, we're very tarnished. So detox, it will help and it will change. But just imagine, just put your mind if your parents knew and they started you when you were younger, how you would feel, how less that you would have to worry about going to the doctors, how less about everything, how less you would have to worry about anything.
Right.
Yeah, man. But see, a lot of that has to deal with poverty and your income level. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up poor. You know, my mom and them was on food stamps and stuff like that. So we didn't really have the financial means in which to eat properly because it costs money to eat, properly. You know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays, so if you're going through that situation, you didn't have financial means in order to buy the right, foods that you really need, to be able to do that, you're going to bring your children up on, the Similac and the government cheese and the crackers and all of that stuff like that, spam and
let me
all of
throw
that
this
stuff.
out there real quick. Like Super Dave said, and G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle, right? That knowing that, hey, poor people have the opportunity to eat good sometimes, right? Because it's knowing what to eat. So you mentioned Dr. Sebi earlier. I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Sebi ate once a day when he ate. He ate one time a day at 6 p.m., right? His meal consisted of greens and black rice.
That's it.
Just one bowl of beans and black rice, right? If you're gonna eat, if you're poor, it's the discipline that it takes to first only eat once a day at 6 p.m. and then to get accustomed to just eating greens, just greens, right? And I'm telling y'all, if you ain't got a piece of Big Mama green stalk, you better get it the next time you're home and grow your own greens, right? Again, it's a weed. It grows naturally, right?
Right.
But I know when I was a little kid, man, growing up in Los Angeles, every house had at least 2, 3, 4, 5 different fruit trees, right? Then over the years, people, they mess my yard up. They fall on the car, and then we get rid of all the fruit trees. But growing up, we had kumquats, we had loquats, we had peaches, persimmons, like pomegranates. We had fruit trees, and we just hop from yard to yard. Oh, they got plums, right? They got apples.
Right.
And it's realizing that it's that kind of return to diet that we should have, right? Where if you are, and again, I'm not trying to be shitty, I'm just saying as a person that knows, if I had nothing else, I could only eat once a day, I'm just eating greens. I'm just eating greens, leafy greens, leafy greens, leafy greens, leafy greens, right? Just like looking at Asar, I'm gonna turn into Asar. I'm gonna be the big green, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so green because all I'm gonna eat is greens, right?
Yeah.
And one day we'll go into the whole thing with how that plays out on this plane too, that there are actually green people out there to this day. There's purple Negroes out there to this day. There's blue Negroes out there to this day, right?
Right.
And
blue black.
blue black, right? But the greens, if you could only eat once a day, discipline yourself just to eat once a day. And it's just a practice, I used to do this when I was a younger man, was just practicing in the event that something happened and there was a cataclysmic event, right? Like I was here for the Northquake earthquake, right?
Yeah.
What if that was so bad that, hey, we ain't got connection to food right now? What is it in my immediate vicinity that I can walk out and be like, okay, shoot, I can eat this, right? So I got into studying edible plants and flowers. And I realized here in Los Angeles, just along the La Brea and La Cienega, there's hillsides of anise. It's a little flower, it's basically licorice. It tastes
Yeah.
like licorice. Worst case scenario, I got fields of anise I can go and pick and eat while everybody else is wondering what am I going to eat.
Right.
But it's understanding tamarind grows out here. There's all kind of plants that people have in their front yards that, hey, you know what? Worst case scenario, I can go eat that, right? Our community gardens are important. The fact that here in Los Angeles, you can grow edibles, and this was brought up by a brother in the community who pushed the city to allow us to grow in the lane. You know, that's the part of the property between the sidewalk and the street. You got that little strip of grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, for years, been trying to encourage people, hey, grow corn out there, grow apples again, put fruit trees out here. So if something were to happen, there's free food. Hey, my neighbor got watermelon in front of his house. This one, right? Like pumpkin, whatever.
Right.
Just go back to just farming in that little strip of grass that you have out there. You can keep your beautiful lawn, but it should have some corn or something in front of that, right? So, you know, that's just a wisdom dropping on the youth, them, you know, bringing that understanding that, yes, you you got to take care of your health, but it's discipline. It's learning the discipline, right? Because it is true. In order to get out here and just be extravagant with being vegan or whatever you're trying to do, yeah, that might seem costly, but there's alternatives that you can get for pennies on the dollar. And it's much healthier than eating top ramen, you know, and all the other BS garbage that we put into our bodies, you know. So, you know, there's it's ingrained in us to think because I'm poor, I'm less than, or I don't have opportunity to do stuff, but then we wouldn't have all the greats that came before us that come from meager backgrounds that were poor, that did, you know, some phenomenal stuff, you know, and they flipped the script because that mind was still open to the change. No, this isn't going to stop me. You know, I'm not going to let these things limit me. So I hope that, you know, sinks in with somebody out there who takes the initiative to go and research things on their own. You know what I mean? Plug in the questions. If you got questions, drop the questions. You know, we try to answer what we can, but, you know, definitely ask. You know, you can't be afraid. Come on, the only stupid question is the question not asked, right? There's
The
no
one that's
such
not
thing as a
asked. That's
stupid
the only
question.
stupid
Yeah,
question.
that's
Yeah.
the only stupid question, right?
And get back on kids, you know, horticulture, and it's got to do with your body.
Yeah.
You know, it hurts to grow. You have to prune yourself in order to grow properly.
Right.
You can see a flower, it looks like a perfectly good flower, but somebody pruned a perfectly what you thought was a good limb off, bang, so a brand new one can grow strong and better.
That's just like weaning off the McDonald's and the Burger King and the, you know, chicken wings and stuff. How you gonna wean yourself off of that?
It hurts to grow. You know, you grew up poor. I grew up poor. That daggone cheese, that welfare cheese, best grilled cheese ever. I can't find cheese to replace that. I'm sorry. But it hurts to give up something in order for yourself to grow. It's not anything easy.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you have to teach young people from the giddy up, is because if it's not instant gratification, they won't want to do it. But that stuff is going to hurt, but in the long run, you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this question, man. So why do y'all think the youth, you know, is so difficult for them, you know what I'm saying, to change their, you know, lifestyle changes as far as their eating habits and stuff like that is concerned? What is it? What, you know, because you find a lot of more younger people having health issues nowadays than you do, when we were coming up. Well, what is the cause of that? You know what I'm saying? Are they sitting down more, not as active, or you know what I'm saying? What's going on with the youth?
I think that's number one. That goes for physical and mental.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just over the COVID, can you imagine going to school by yourself? There's no social activity. You're not bumping elbows with no babes or no dudes or anything. You're just sitting here in front of a computer doing a lesson. No social skills whatsoever. And you can live your whole life that way. You
Yeah.
don't go to a store. You can just get on your keyboard and hit DoorDash or whatever, Walmart, boop, boop, boop. All you need to do is learn how to spell. And next thing you know, it's at your
Yeah.
Food at your house.
And a lot of people prefer that way of life as opposed to having to change or to, kind of shape themselves into being able to fit around a group of people.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. Right now we're set up to be set up to be a world full of serial killers because
right.
interactions are terrible, especially between little kids. They think they own everything.
Yeah, man, it's sad.
And every little kid was doing the same thing. So the parents are waiting to get seen by a doctor, or even it might have been a kid. But all of them had either a little tablet or a phone with a cartoon on. The parents are having a conversation. The kid is self-absorbed into the tablet or the phone. Nothing else. You can pluck the kid on top of the head. Bang! Not moving.
They ain't going out. They're not going outside anymore either. I mean, it's rare you see kids playing outside.
No, you can play Madden on the TV and no about football.
We used to play football outside.
My grandson is a coach and ain't even stepped on a field.
Wow.
Because they diagram everything, they break it down, and it's terrible. That's the reason.
It's also understanding like there's a changing of the guard that's kind of taking place, right? Where we become our parents in our way of thinking as well. As you get older, you start seeing like, oh, the youth seem softer than we were, right? Trust me, the generation before you thought the same way. Oh, they soft, right? And like you can research this, but it goes back to, at least the 1800s, where every generation looked at the generation before them as like, after them as like weaker than them, right? Like people grew up in my generation here and their parents walked uphill in the snow both ways, back and forth to school, 17 miles. And, I walked to school every day, right? And, you took the bus or you got bused or they dropped you off, but you hear this story then with your own kids, they got to school in some other kind of means, right? Now kids, Uber into school and whatnot. So, it's just like the changing of the guard. And in a way, I looked forward to becoming, an old cantankerous man, just complaining, cussing everybody out. I want to be like Red Fox when I'm Red Fox's age. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be that dude because,
right.
I know that that's a natural progression. Like, as we get older, we're looking at them like, oh, these young cats don't know nothing. But guess what? When I was his age, it was somebody my age saying the same thing about my black ass, right? So realize like the youth, they are here just like us for an experience, right? And as for those that have children, you go from being like mommy and daddy to just counselor to advisor. We giving advice. It's on you to do the legwork to figure the shit out for yourself, because guess what? I was the same way. I got advice, and again, I said this earlier, but recognize your village, know your village. A lot of people run around, oh, I didn't have no pops, I don't know who my daddy is. Well, you know, if I check your bio, you know, you played Pop Warner football and you was, you know, all American and you were light
Yeah.
junior golden gloves, right? Like you had a whole lot of daddies, all these dudes that stepped in that they was playing that father role in your life. So don't limit yourself to not recognizing who your aunties and uncles are in your own community. That it may not be somebody that even look like you, that is there to play that role of advancement, that role of advancement in your life, to drop them words on you for you to hear it and go, okay, you're right, right? So, you
Yeah.
know, again, we got to be aware of what's going on. And, you know, the youth, they're going to always do that. Trust me, you know, 30 years from now, it's cats that's going to be our
Yeah.
age bracket. And they're gonna be talking about the ones that's 30 years younger than them. Like, man, these guys, you know, all they want to do is, you know, just stay in the biodome all day, right?
Ain't it amazing how we waste our youth? You know what I'm saying? We just waste time and
Yeah,
not listen to those who came before you. You know what I'm saying? If we took at least 5 minutes to just listen to those who came before us, we can gain some knowledge and wisdom that we can use in our youth to be able to do excellent things. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To be able to evolve to the next level. If you just take the time to learn the lessons, that the mistakes that the elders made, and not
yeah,
repeat those mistakes, but to grow from those mistakes and learn something from it and say, okay, I heard what you said, elder. I'm not going to, make that mistake that you made. I'm going to do it like this. I'm
Right.
going to do it like that. But the youth don't even want to hear it.
Well,
They
I mean,
think they got it all figured out.
but they have different. Theirs are more mental.
yeah,
Where we did have to try to figure things out. Theirs is really kind of hard because they're all mostly mental, because a
right.
lot of it figured out for them. And that's where we have to be humble. And I'll just leave you with this one story. And I'm just going to be honest. My son, my youngest son, Dante, was really hot on this
I got,
woman.
I got a son named Dante too. Shout out to the Dantes out there.
Yeah,
Shout out to you, son.
yeah. And you remember Bond? Glenn got a son named Dante too.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's what's up. It was a
Yeah,
Jodeci thing.
yeah. So, so he calls me and he says, Dad, I want to marry this woman. What do I say to her father?
Mm.
And I was like, damn, son. When you figure that one out and you do it, let me know, because that's something I never done. Even though it was tradition like that, us being in the military, I didn't do things that way.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know how you did. I just, my wife, we was both, we got married, boom, that was it. Families wasn't involved because we were all away from home and all that. And I was like, and I had to eat that. I was like, son, I don't know. And that is a very legitimate question. So when you do it, let me know how you did it.
right.
Ask that.
It'd be the first time for both of us.
And he decided to take him to dinner and sat him down. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like the way you should do it. Treat it like business, because you with a lot of personality, because that's his daughter.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, so their challenges are different than ours because they're mostly mental. Everything's already done for them. They ain't got to change the battery in the car because the whole car is electric.
A Tesla.
You don't have to be mad and hailing a cab, in New York City at 2 a.m.
Right.
Never gonna. Now they got Uber and they don't know who they're talking to. As long as the money is on there,
They don't care. Yeah.
it's different challenges that they have that we don't even think about. So yeah, you're right. It's a whole new world, brave new world.
Yeah.
A whole new world. Man, all right, fellas. Look, we reached our hour point. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and try to close out the show. You dig? But I wanted
Right.
to give Kit the opportunity if he wanted to go ahead and answer a question that we had in the chat room from the last episode. So the question was, if the Bible needs to be decoded, is it truly the word of God?
Yeah. And say I had stepped out when the question was asked, but again, I'll take a swing at it. I want to know, and I'm being rhetorical, right? For the person that asked that question, thank you for asking it. But I would ask this: which God? Like,
Right.
which God you're referring to? The God of the Old Testament, the God of the New Testament. They're not the same person, right? That
Exactly.
psyche is not the same, right? And again, it goes back to knowing yourself. If you know yourself, then you know your limitations, you know what things you're gonna accept, you're not gonna accept, and that's it could be a trick bag question for somebody who wants to debate. So, I just wanted to kind of be rhetorical and add that little spiel out there. Like, which God are you talking about? Because once you identify that, then we can build upon that, right? So, whoever asked the question, could you answer that one for me? Which God are you talking about?
Yeah, where's God? Why? Well, with that being said, man, this has been another Still Building podcast, dig, you know what I'm saying, where knowledge was shared and was grown, you know what I'm saying? So you got to remember, man, the more that you know, the more you will grow and the better off we all shall be. So I want to go around robbing around the room, you know what I'm saying? And then drop your links, drop your information. Where can the people find you at? D Cook, you know what I'm saying? They want to get some more information from you.
I am not hard to find, but I'm only on these social media outlets. So you can find me at Sergeant, that's SGT CRAZE, crazy. That would be me. And I'm the only one out there, don't have any numbers on it. I'm SGT CRAZE, Sergeant Crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I'm on Facebook, but you might get my dad, so you might want that whole different kind of cat. So we're definitely in his DNA. He is my DNA, but we don't think the same. So
and that's okay. And look, that's what Still Building is all about, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, we have different perspectives, different faiths and beliefs, but we're able to come together as Black men and build and understand, chop and build so we can grow. We sharing knowledge, we sharing information so we can hear, listen, and understand and grow. That's what it's all about, man. You know what I'm saying? Not about being absolute, you know what I'm saying? And not, trying to debate and become, who has the right answer, this, that, and the third, and all this, that. We just trying to share information and knowledge with each other, chopping it up and building on Still Building Podcast. And that's how you grow. You know what I'm saying? So Kit Jones, where can we find you at? Where the people can, man, drop your knowledge, man, your info, your links, get the mathematics.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, you can find me at famous357 on the IG, famous357 Gmail, famous357 on Outlook. Hit me up for consultations, whatever, just hit a brother up, let's build. 'Cause I'm always building.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And you can find yours truly at, you see right here, Marifa Asar LLC. I don't know if y'all been seeing it the whole show. And then drop that link one time, marifaasar.com, where you go get some of that fly and fresh gear, you know what I'm saying, representing African culture. Go ahead and shop, you know what I'm saying, at marifaasar.com. You can find me all social media platforms at Marifa Asar LLC. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's been another Still Building podcast. It's your man, Marifa. We're going to go out with the incomparable Malia Dawn. You dig? We're going to drop her music right here in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get it popping. Malia Dawn, take us out, baby girl. Check her out on all streaming platforms, Apple's, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you get your streaming pop music from. This is her from her album. It's called For Myself, Malia Dawn. Let's rock out, fellas. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been lost away, it's slick the same. I'm in my brain trying to maintain everything, but I can't. Searching for same, been feeling the same, a bit mundane. But hey, I won't complain. I know in all time things will change. At the right time, I ain't gonna wait. But for
Jacko,
right
shout
now,
out to
I'ma just
Jacko.
stay.
Yeah.
Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I help, you know I. Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I help, I know you care for me. Why can't you see that we could never be?
Hey,
Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I help, I know you care for me. Why can't you see that we could never be?
hey.
I've been in need of some rearrange, and it's for more than a couple things. So I've been praying for some more change, asking the Lord for some more strength. Hid in the dark with just me and my thoughts. Tried to be less in my head and more in my heart. So I'm searching for a better start, and I'm working towards a better part of my inner arts. Yeah, I know I'm not the other ones. Got plenty of tasks plus to give, so you know I'ma get them done. Spent too many years staying on the run. Now you can find me on my way, headed towards the sun. Headed towards the sun. Headed towards the sun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I help, I know you care for me. Why can't you see that we could never be? Why can't you just let me be myself? You know I help, I know you care for me. Why can't you see that we could never be? Never be.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Miss
Pop,
Malia Dawn. Malia Dawn, ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable. Yeah. Go and check out all her music, you know what I'm saying? Streaming platforms everywhere, Tidal, Apple, iTunes, you know what I'm saying? Amazon, wherever you get your music, you know, she's there. Malia Dawn. You did.
That's what's
Check that
up.
out. Incomparable. Streaming amazing artists. All right, fellas. We up out of here. You dig? This has been another Still Bitter podcast. It's your man Maurifa saying love and light, baby. Peace. Peace,
I
fellas.
live.
Salute, baby.
All
Yeah.
right.